Ben Ferguson in next. Ben, good to see you.
Nice to see you, man.
Been a good year for you?
Yes, sir. It's been awesome, man.
Has it been as good this year as it was last year?
Last year was special.
Crazy, wasn't it? Yeah.
Being a part of a 27-0 undefeated regular season
team. I remember that. For some reason, I didn't go back and look it up, but I knew it in my head. That 27-0 start was just crazy.
It was special.
It just kept getting better. I mean, we had you in a poll on our website, number one. There's no way nobody could knock you guys down for number one because you just kept on winning. You guys got in the state polls last year, too, and you guys were up at the top of that also.
Yeah, we were unanimous pick for number one seed. It was just ridiculous. Having Terrell.
Who knocked you off last year? You remember? I'm sure you did. Reagan of all people. Wow.
Yeah, they were an 8 seed. They had us game plan. Their coach had just retired.
Was Coach West? Coach Howard West?
Yes.
Coach West.
He held Terrell under 20. Only coach to do that his senior year, except one other coach. So it was just ridiculous how they game planned for us. But
you guys were really wanting to see that matchup with Dudley because Rick talked about just wanting to see it himself coming in from High Point Christian. Would have been watching from the outside last year. But you guys really wanted to see that matchup with Dudley. I know.
We were on a collision course for it because we were the way it was. We were going to play them in the third round. We lost on a Tuesday. We were going to play them on a Friday. Gym was going to be packed.
That would have been at your place.
Yeah, gym would have been packed. They were going to bring their band.
Oh man, Dudley was going to bring their band.
Yeah, and you know how their band is. So
man, you probably had to knock some walls down just to bring in some outside atmosphere to go with it.
And it would have been great, having the biggest gym in the state.
That would have been a great challenge too for your student section. They would have loved that challenge, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, last year they really showed out. This year they all are doing swim, so they got swim meets on the game days. So they haven't been coming out as much, but we know they're supporting us.
Sometimes it's good too to see how they're going to maybe dress up for a certain game.
Yeah, they got crazy themes going on down there. It is ridiculous seeing them some nights.
How's the shot going for you this year? I know last year I told Rick the first time I saw you, really noticed you a lot was in that Southeast Guilford game at Southeast. That night you were just killing it down there.
Yeah, that was our opener.
Yeah, it sure was at the Southeast.
Yeah, my game is pretty predicated on three-point shooting. I try to do other stuff, when I can. But I'm very comfortable with my jump shot, and it falls a lot, so I like to stay with it.
How did you develop that outside shot, being a little bit of a bigger man?
Yeah, I'm 6'5".
Yeah, you think about that. Going outside, sometimes a bigger man, they want him to play down around the basket, go step in a low post. But here you are, a guy can go outside and shoot with the best guards.
Yeah, I played soccer till I was about 12, and Bob Lipke, he's his son.
I heard of Coach Bob.
Yeah.
He used to be at Oak Ridge Military.
Yes.
Yeah.
He assistant coach there. He picked me up out of a rec league his son played in.
His son was a little baseball player too, I think.
And he was an amazing pass first point guard. We all got an AAU team together.
Man, I thought that was a good run with those guys.
Oh yeah, and Bob Lipke, man, he's made me the basketball player I am today with the jump shot.
Got to give Coach Bob some credit for that, though.
Yeah, the IQ, the intangibles. I credit everything to Bob Lipke.
And his son, a little guard, made sure you got the ball when you needed that ball too.
Oh yeah, me, myself, and Sam Hildreth.
Sam Hildreth with Northern Guilford. Man, that was a wide open mix of guys, wasn't it?
We were the Twin Towers because we're both real tall with the blonde hair.
Sam Hildreth. He had I think 16 or 15 last night in their win.
Yeah, he did.
So you probably keep up with Sam then.
Oh yeah, I was talking to him last week. We hung out, so I went to his house.
Man, those guys in those AAU circuits and travel circuits, soccer the same way. You know each other from a lot of different schools.
It's special, just the camaraderie of all of it.
And how it carries over when you get older too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, the bond stays.
You kind of keep up with each other, how everybody's doing at the different schools. Now that outside shot, how did you develop that again, that outside shot? Was it the kind of thing where you need to have an open space out there? Do you have a certain spot on the floor you pick, or how do you decide where you're going to be shooting that ball from? It seems like you're better. I always judge these people from the corners versus facing the basket, outside on the perimeter. I look at this Bailey Cardwell Page, girl shooter out there, female shooter. She was always good for the corners. You were good for the corners too, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, the right corner is my sweet spot.
I can still see that right corner to Southeast that night on this side over here.
But I'm comfortable. The least comfortable I'm probably shooting, from three is top of the key. But anything with the angle, the depth perception, I feel like I have good depth perception. So anywhere, 3-point line, it doesn't affect me.
Do you need some contact or resistance out there? You like the wide open shot?
The wide
Some
open
people
shot,
like guys running at them with a hand in the air.
Yeah, I like a slightly contested shot just because I do everything, because when you're wide open, you tend to shoot it slower or whatever, get off pace. But
and when you're covered, you kind of tend to get that quick release. And some guys, I've seen these 3-point shooters, kind of makes you think about the NBA shootout deal. It's like, boom, quick release. And I like that too myself, because if you get that quick release, you don't give the guy time to come get and block your shot.
Yeah, it's like a dead-eye thing, because he's coming at you and the shot's already out. But I prefer the quick release, when people are coming at me, either that or a ball fake. And
Yeah, I was going to say, if you learn a defender, sometimes that ball fake's good too, because you see him coming, you pull back and he goes flying right by you, then you release it.
Especially if you hit one or two, they'll just come flying at you, pump fake and go.
Just got to watch for the sneaky guy though, who goes flying by you, and then you're ready to pull it back, he comes up behind you and blocks you on high. Once he does that one time, never trust that guy again. It does happen.
It happens sometimes, man.
Yeah. Well, you talk about Southwest Northwest Guilford, the success you guys had last year, what are you going to do to kind of make that a better season? This is your senior year, right?
No, this is my junior year.
Junior, so you got 2 more, so you're fine as far as that goes. But what do you do to make this a better year this year than it was last year? Because this is not Terrell Leach's team anymore.
Right. I mean, the best thing about this team is just the multiple weapons that we have. We have 5 or 6 kids that could easily average 15 points a game. But we all decide if we come together and we do our thing, everyone buys into their role and everything like that, makes the extra pass, whatever. It makes us very dangerous because we have 6 or 7 scoring options that other teams just don't have.
So you don't have that one breakout guy go out and score 30 or 40 on a given night, but you got to look out for everybody out there. Everybody can maybe give you 10 or 15 like Cameron Langley did last night.
Oh, Cameron Langley is special, man. He's one that he carried us last night, and the night before it was myself. The night before that was KJ, and Tyleek Brister's in there. Rick's doing his thing.
Yeah, I mentioned Brister. Is it Brister or Brisker?
Brister.
Brister with a T. He does pretty well for you guys. We didn't mention him earlier when I was talking to Rick. I didn't mention his name. So Brister's another guy who helps you out a lot.
Yeah, and it's just great having so many options. And DJ Chamley, can't forget about him. Arjun Patel. It's just the group of guys that we have. It's very hard to stop.
It's pretty good too this year because last year maybe you guys were looking maybe more at about 7 guys. This year probably looking more like 9 or 10 involved.
Yeah, I mean 9 or 10 guys scored 5 points or more every night. We play 11 or 12. I mean seriously. I mean we're just so deep this year. It's just awesome to do.
And you think about this team, think about Coach Shavers and Coach Vlasny. What have you learned from those guys as coaches? I know you learned a lot from Coach Bob Lipke. And I guess Coach Bob, is he still at Oak Ridge or somewhere along that way?
No, he's given up coaching as far as I know.
Okay. What about the current coaches, though? Coach Shavers and Coach Vlasny? Because Coach Vlas is kind of a different kind of coach because he does a lot of different things. He's like the academic feature as well. He's got the academic side, the writing side to him. It's kind of neat to have a coach. It'd be tough for me to be a coach and come right. He sends us those stories every game. A guy that can get focused to write something like that after a big game, that's a pretty good quality about him too. You gotta like what both these guys bring to the table.
Vlasny, his advanced stats that he has are just insane. He gives us our points per possession, points per 100 possessions, points per possession on one play that we run versus another play that we run, rebounds per game, everything. His advanced stats are just ridiculous. And Shavers, he's the most cerebral guy I've ever met or ever talked to or anything. The way he is, man, he just makes you think. He gives you advice without even giving you advice. It's just that type of
Those are the good kind of coaches just to be around.
Yeah, just the life lessons that Shavers can teach you without him even realizing it. It's the best.
He looks like he could be a pretty good guy to maybe help out in the post a little bit too, as big as he is. I mean, he's probably added some weight from his playing days at UNCG, but boy, it's like right now he could probably bang around with somebody, maybe not going 100 full speed, but maybe just going through a simulated situation in the lane, pushing some of your guys around and teaching a few life lessons there.
God knows we need some more post presence, but I mean, we will do with what we have. So.
It was a couple of years ago. You're a junior this year. Would have been a sophomore a couple of years ago.
Yep.
I got the guy's name. I'm trying to remember all these names. There've been so many. Because you've had a lot. You've had some weird teams past couple of years. It's been like, you look at the past 3 years, and you've been on all 3, right?
My freshman year, I only got brought up for the playoffs, so
okay.
I was on the JV team.
Past 2 years you've been with them. But the past 3 years, look at these, the composures of these teams. You had that one team a couple of years ago with Brandon Clive.
Yeah.
Remember Brandon?
Yeah,
then you had last year's team with Leach. Man, last year's team, I told Leach about this, Terrell Leach. We talked to him after your Northwest Guilford game at Northwest early in the season. It was just so different because he said the same thing. I think he missed a bunch of that year before too to injury.
Yeah.
But the difference was you guys had team unity, team composure. It seemed like when Brandon Clyburn's group was there, I mean, they were all kind of splintered out. Look, I'm going for my game tonight because Brandon, I love Brandon to death, great kid.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, Brandon, he was an inside man, but he loved to live way out beyond the perimeter.
He fell in love with that jump shot, definitely.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the difference in those 3 teams the past 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big difference is just, because Terrell got hurt most of that year. He only played 9 games that junior year, which was 2 years ago with Brandon and Jordan and Braxton Day and all them. The team chemistry last year, I think, was unmatched compared to any team I've been a part of. Because
you had the right mix.
Oh, without a doubt, everyone knew their role. Everyone bought into their role. Everybody loved each other. If one kid had 20 points, everyone was congratulating him. And the next night when someone else did, it was the same thing. It was just.
Did you ever talk about, hey, we got number 22 tonight, let's go for number 23, this and then 24? Did you talk about that a little bit too?
After about 13, 14, and 0, we started feeling it a little bit. That night when you were talking to Rick about the Western Guilford game when he had 54.
Yeah.
After we won that was our Christmas tournament victory. we were like, we can really do this.
He had 54, but to some people who maybe saw that game, he probably had 75. The story's probably changed so much from then because it was such a big night.
Oh my gosh, he carried us the entire night. He had 40-some in the second half in overtime alone.
40 points.
So he didn't even decide to take over until the second half.
It makes it kind of sad now, too, thinking back. This still would have been great because you brought it up and we talked just to have seen that matchup between Dudley and Southwest. Sam Hunt versus Terrell Leach would have been a great matchup.
Yeah, Sam Hunt, he's at Jacksonville now.
Yeah.
He was a special player in his own right, and Terrell.
He carried that Dudley team, too. I hate to say it, but you kind of look at Dudley now. What's going on with Dudley right now? I think you're like 2-7.
Right.
I know they had some guys that didn't play early because they were still playing a little football out there, but I don't think it would have made that huge of a difference. Boy, Dudley, a totally different team with Sam gone.
Sam was their heart and soul, and they're hurting now, but there's without a doubt they're a young roster. They're going to pick it up.
Yeah, the Hooker kid we mentioned earlier, and the Seagraves kid, those guys are freshmen. They're going to be good down the road. Boy, it's going to take a lot of patience to kind of bring that team along.
Yeah, Hendon played with us over the summer.
Did he really? I thought he did, yeah.
He talk about a special player.
That guy can get up, can he, for a kid?
Yeah, for an
He's tall. He's about 6'3", 6'4".
Yes, he's got a nice jump shot, good handle. He's exceptional perimeter defender. He's solid.
If he would have been with you guys, would have maybe made a difference, but maybe better for Dudley. Dudley probably needs help, maybe more than you guys. You never know.
Right.
Sometimes you don't want to spread that wealth around. You want to keep it, but you never know how things might turn out.
I hear you.
How about Northwest this year, facing them? What's that going to be like?
Yeah, me and Nick Powell.
Nick Powell got to go way back.
Gosh,
we call him Pow, 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 but he just nails those threes.
Yeah, him and Cody Hilton last year.
Cody Hilton was unreal, wasn't he?
They had that 1-2 punch that was very hard to stop. But yeah, Nick Powell, I would say, is their leader.
I'll tell you another good guy shooting over there too, kind of like your frame in some ways, maybe a little bulkier. Is Colson Everett. Everett can shoot that three-point shot.
Yeah, number 11.
Don't underestimate this three-point shooting ability.
And he's out there on the wing.
Yeah, exactly.
With Nick on one wing and Colson on the other, and their point guard Gore.
Yeah, and had the new point guard Spicer. You seen the Spicer kid?
Yeah, I saw him in the invitational we went to.
That's crazy.
So. Yeah, they impose threats on us, but I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about Glenn on Friday, because that's our next game.
Exactly. Well, you're looking forward to Northwest and forward to Ragsdale too, I hear.
Yeah, Ragsdale next Friday is going to be something special. It's one of the biggest games that's going to happen this year in the area. So it's an exam day, so all the kids are going to be ready.
Is that going to be at your place?
Yes.
Ragsdale at your place.
January 17th we'll be home.
Wow. That's going to be interesting.
Oh yes, it'll be a good game. They don't have as much depth as us.
Yeah.
But Kanakanui and Step, man, they know what they're doing, and Quick and all them. So
Quick and Parker, those guys, they do.
Yeah.
Tell you what, Kanakanui's kind of waited for his time to get here, and it's definitely here for him right now.
He's averaging about 12 rebounds a game. So good for him, and me and him are friends. So
that's some quality rebounds too, because I'm kind of figuring he's getting those rebounds around maybe 5 feet from the bucket sometimes. I don't see him being a board crasher.
Yeah.
Maybe getting those balls right around the broken part of the lane there, the broken circle.
He's getting the long offensive rebounds, and 12 rebounds a game at the high school level is incredible. Most high school teams average about 40, and he's getting 12 of them. So it's amazing what he's doing right now. I hope he keeps it up.
What about this Glenn team? We don't know anything at all about the Glenn Bobcats. I'm sure Coach Vlass has probably got these guys pretty scattered, broken down.
Yeah, he gave us the game plan right before we came here, but they're a team full of guards. They got a big man inside. He was all conference last year. He's about 6'7", real strong. He'll hold a guy off.
There was a time when Glenn was, when you were probably back in early middle school days, that was a highly competitive team.
Oh yeah, Glenn. For years, Glenn was a better program basketball-wise.
Coach Revis was there.
Yeah. But Friday, it's going to be a good game. We're at their place. It's going to be awesome.
Had that kid years ago. Everybody thought he was going to be like the next big thing, but I don't know what happened to Eric Wallace.
Yes.
Is that name?
Yes, he was getting recruited by Carolina.
Carolina, and also UVA was after him heavy too. But never knew what happened to that guy.
He just dropped. I heard about him. He dropped off. He's supposed to be like the next Michael Jordan or something.
Exactly, huge within the state. But what about Terrell Leach? Because Rick mentioned he's over at Winston-Salem State.
Yeah, he's redshirt, and he has to get another surgery on his knee.
Oh, really?
He's been playing the last year and a half without any cartilage in his knee. But yeah, he's likes it down there. He says the school's a good fit for him. Basketball team's good.
So we expect to see him there for 4 years and at least 4 more.
I would expect it. I would expect an overseas career at least from Terrell. So I'm hoping after he gets his degree, he can go and make some noise overseas. He deserves it.
Yeah, a guy like that gets that kind of shot. They can make some noise for maybe 5, maybe 10 years. Some of the guys.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We had a guy with us a few years ago. One of the shows he played at Page and he played at played up in Baltimore at Marymount, I think it was. Anyway, he ended up in Germany. Julius Brooks from years ago. ago.
Right.
Played some German ball first part of the year. I mean, just to get a pro contract of any type. Once you get the first one, all you got to do is try to hope that kind of catapults you to, hey, somebody else needs a player.
And then you can stick around and bounce from team to team, and that's how you can make a living. So
very good money.
It's solid.
There were even guys back in the day that made big, good basketball money in Israel of all places.
Yeah, Israel, Warsaw, Poland.
I think Steve Wojciechowski played a year in Poland. What I heard today, a whole other radio report. So the possibilities are out there. What about yourself? You got aspirations to go play for some colleges, maybe?
My dream is to play at High Point University.
Really? High Point University. That's kind of wild, man. Of all places, one day I want to be the next guy right beside Roy Williams on the bench. I want to be Coach K's right-hand man, learn that program. High Point University is where you want to go. That's good.
I'm a local kid. I like to do my thing.
I like to see people keep it local. Yeah.
Stay local. Austin Zente, who's a part of our team, committed there for baseball.
Yeah, talent.
So I would have someone I know there
hanging out. Yeah.
Plus I'm not the type of guy that needs a whole big spotlight and everything. I'm fine with a small school.
I'll tell you what, High Point University's had some guys the past couple of years. Some of those named players, that Nick Barber guy from Danville, and some other guys that just come. I mean, they've had like one or two guys every couple of years just turned out to be pretty big names.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. But if the basketball thing doesn't work out, injury, I don't get recruited enough or anything. My dream would be to go to Carolina, studying psychology.
Gotcha. What about Coach Cherry at High Point University? You got to know him any? Talk to him some?
I've talked to him one time. I don't even think he remembers it. I just went to a game and I just said, "What's up, Coach?"
He's a former Carolina guy, so there is some connection there.
Yeah, definitely.
So High Point University may be the spot for you.
If they're interested enough to recruit me, I would be so flattered, and I would highly consider it.
Have you been to any camps over there? Any other camps anywhere?
I go to the Carolina camp every year, and I've been to a bunch of High Point soccer camps back in the day.
Soccer is still a part of your game now, or you kind of let that go?
It's just so hard to play multiple sports in high school and put the time in for both. Sure. So I dropped soccer about last time I played was 8th grade for Southwest Middle School.
And back in the soccer day, had a lot of success in it?
Yeah.
I bet you were great on throw-ins with your long arms. You were throwing halfway across the field.
I was bigger than most of the kids because I quit at 12 years old, so before puberty and all that. So I was just bigger and faster than all the kids. I had quite the soccer career. Played for the Jamestown Jammers.
That was a good team back in the day.
It was fun. I love soccer.
Yeah. Were you a scorer or a defender? Or
I played striker.
So you were up front.
Yeah, and I scored my share of goals, man. It was nice.
Ever have like that 3 or 4 or 5 goal game?
Yeah, my highest ever was 4 goals.
4 goals in the game. That had to be pretty fun.
It was special.
But you miss that any at all? That part of your game plan?
No, I have such a passion for basketball.
That's it right now.
It's just one of those things. I can't miss soccer right now.
You guys, you mentioned it earlier about summer workouts. You guys got a summer team, I'm sure, for Southwest. You all play together.
Yeah, Shavers has us going 11 months out of the year.
He's got an 11-month program then.
We lost, against Reagan, and 3 or 4 weeks later, when the dead period was over, me and KJ were in the gym, getting some shots up. And Shavers, that's the best part about him. There's never a time where you can't get in the gym.
That gym's open.
He gives you instant access, unlimited. So
that's kind of a good thing to have because there's so many coaches back in the day would try to shoot you out so they could go home. We like those coaches leave that gym open.
He puts us first, and I'm so thankful for that because he's given us the best shot we could possibly have.
What about on those days like those snow days? You guys go to school 2 hours late. You guys get to early, start taking some shots.
At times, last year we would get together last year, because we had a snow day about this time last year. And we got together and had a meeting, just because last year we were just so close, all the guys.
Yeah, that had to be the year.
It was so special, man.
Who did you lose besides Terrell Leach off last year's team?
We lost Antonio Banks,
right,
and Deuce Bryant. We called him Michael Bryant. We called him Deuce, and then Speedy. We called him Speedy. Renrick Arthur, and Michael. He's at ECU right now on a scholarship, going to be a doctor. So
the key, though, had to be Terrell Leach to that team last year.
Averaged 30 points, 8.5 rebounds, 4 assists. It's well documented. But, Terrell wasn't the entire team.
Right.
Myself, KJ, Tyleek, DJ, same guys as this year.
But the roles have all changed this year.
Yeah, each of us has gotten a little bit bigger, piece of the pie. But
who would be the leading scorer on this year's team so far?
Myself right now, and DJ's a close second.
Are you guys at about 12?
Yeah,
10?
12 and a half. But none of that matters as long as we keep winning.
It's kind of interesting to see where it's at. Maybe this week, then see where you're at. Maybe next week, do it like that.
Yeah, that's exactly because we're in conference play now, so every game counts. So we're just taking it day by day, week by week, all that.
I asked Rick about this. What do you think about that Southwest Guilford girls team?
Their sustained success.
I can't believe. I still can't believe it that they're at the point they are right now, to where they were a couple of years ago when they were state champs. They have not fallen off. I mean, Coach Bryant's gone. It's kind of crazy because she was an outstanding coach, but she's gone, and they really haven't missed much of a beat.
They are so sustainable. Mr. Scarborough, who's our SRO officer, has taken over. And he's done quite the job. He's coached the JV last year, and he was assistant coach on the varsity, so he definitely is well qualified. He knows what he's doing. We had this Bree Burgeons, Duncan Hagney, Kennedy Porter, LaShonda, the freshman.
Yeah, I mentioned Monk, yeah.
It is just, they pack a punch as well. And
must be some good things about the SROs at Southwest. I remember years ago, I think it was Coach Willis. He was the SRO.
Yes.
And then he coached, I think, basketball also. And Coach Scarborough probably worked under him. They probably got together and stayed with the program, kept the program going.
Scarborough, I like Scarborough. He's got to talk to.
Like a laid back kind of demeanor about
Very
him.
laid back. You wouldn't even think he's a police officer just talking to him, except when you see his uniform. He's a great guy.
What about, here's a name from the past for you, and then we'll kind of break this basketball a little bit more and then get it broken down for you. What about Aaron Willis? What happened to him?
Aaron Willis, yes, football player.
Yeah,
he committed
I know he went to Wake Forest that one time.
Wake,
Yeah.
and he's at Wake now. He's their third string receiver, I think.
So he's still with it.
Yeah, we went on, right after the year, he took us on a tour, and he let us see the locker room and stuff. I think he's had a child, so he might be taking this year off, but as far as I know, he's still at Wake doing his thing.
He was quite an athlete back in his day.
Oh my gosh. He played basketball as well, so
yeah.
He's crazy freak athlete.
Who do you think's the best athlete that's ever come out of Southwest Guilford High School over the years that you've seen growing up through middle school and watching all these guys come through?
Terrell has his case. You know, being 5'9", 45-inch vertical, all that. You can squat 500 pounds. You can bench 290.
Squat 500.
Yeah, he don't even lift weights. He walked in the room and maxed 290 one time.
290
on the bench.
Terrell Leach?
Yeah, but probably the greatest athlete is
just kind of a dangerous quality to have. This guy that mess with weights goes in and does 290.
He's tiny, you know.
Yeah.
But Braxton Day, I think he has.
He's a big dude.
Gosh, he was so strong. He played, multiple sports. He had the whole thing.
Now, who was the kid that went to Ball State?
Ball State. It wasn't Braxton.
No,
it was
another football player.
Bristow went to Presbyterian.
Okay.
I'm not
You have
sure.
to do a dig up on that one then. Yeah. You had several football players past school. You got the one kid, there's at least one kid down at Charlotte, I think.
Yeah, Brandon Banks.
Banks is at Charlotte. He's one at Charlotte. He started down there.
Yeah, he's doing his thing down there. And I remember one day we were in weight training. He squats 565 pounds. And he had so many 45s on the bar. The bar was bending down, and guys had to hold it. It was
People would
insane.
not even believe it. You find that kind of athlete, that kind of strength athlete at Southwest Guilford, you know?
I don't even know how you get that strong. I mean, that
And
is.
you mentioned Leach was, 500 pounds?
Yeah, he could squat 500 pounds. Yeah.
And the other kid you mentioned, Braxton
Yes.
Banks, he was like at 560 or 575?
Yeah, Brandon Banks 560. Braxton was at least 450.
Well, you think about those guys, and Leach is right there, better than one and just a few pounds less than the other.
Yeah, Terrell, his God-given talent is just.
He must have come out of
unmatched.
a real well put together family.
He's so cut, he's so ripped, and he don't even lift weights. He is just God-given. And
he didn't. There was a Leach that was at Southwest many years before him. Lansing.
He scored 1,000 points.
Were they related?
No, they had no relation, and we always joke with him about it. Both two Leaches that have no relation got 1,000 points in Southwest.
Amazing. And Terrell got his like in about a year and a half, didn't he? He didn't have that year.
He only averaged like 7 a game his freshman year, and his junior year was pretty much a wash because he was hurt. He got it like the first 5 games. Within the first 5 games of our year, he got his 1,000 his senior year.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Ben Ferguson with us, three-point shooter for Southwest Guilford Cowboys. He and Rick Mack have joined us at Shane's Rib Shack on this Basketball in Focus, the court report tonight. The plan of attack is Glenn for Friday. Kind of give us your thoughts about what you want the season to be like this year as you move through your junior year. What you want to see happen here?
First goal is to get past the second round. We haven't been out of the second round in like 7 years as a school for basketball, so that's the obvious first goal. Then, of course, to get to the Coliseum would be an amazing accolade for all of us. And then, from that, just survive in advance.
Give me a typical day in the classroom for you academically. What's your class schedule like?
I'm in 5 AP classes this year. I take my academics very seriously, just in case, barring injury or anything. I want to be able to have something to fall back on.
Got to be ready.
But yeah, the academics at Southwest also is very good. They take it really seriously. Great teachers. They're willing to work with you.
So your schedule starts at each day. Kind of give us a run through your classes you go through each day.
Start off with honors U.S. history.
U.S. history? Okay.
Yeah.
Who teaches that?
Miss Evans. Sweet
teacher?
lady.
Good deal.
Then we head off to APR history, which that's probably my hardest.
What was your first class again?
Honors U.S. history.
Second class?
AP art history.
You were a history major.
Yeah, it's one of those things I enjoy. I memorize it well and all that. Then we had honors pre-calculus, and that's my favorite teacher, Miss Long.
Oh, okay.
me and her have a great connection. Her son is the punter at Northwest.
Okay.
He was all conference selection.
Gotcha.
He's a kicker, punter.
Yeah,
Hunter
gotcha.
Long.
Hunter Long, yeah.
But yeah, Miss
The
Long.
kicker, Reed Victory, the punter, Hunter Long. They had like so specialized. They had a punter and a kicker on the same team. Yeah.
Yeah, Miss Long, she's the sweetest lady. She's my favorite teacher. And then Miss Whitaker in AP Environmental Science in 4th period. She's a really solid teacher as well. And she's going to be a teacher at State coming up, be a professor.
She's going to NC State?
She's going back to school to be a professor. So,
wow.
Yeah, so she's got a full schedule as well. So yeah, that's the day.
End of the day, you got any light classes you kind of go out of there with? Or is it all academic all the way through?
Academic, and then we just head to practice right after school.
And so in the end, though, you want to go to High Point University. That's the call right now.
If I go play ball anywhere, I'd want to play at High Point. And I think, I could reach that if I reach my potential. And if I can't get anywhere, Division I, Division II, or anything like that, I want to go to Carolina.
You been to a few of their games?
Yeah, I've been.
Quite a few, yeah.
The atmosphere there is crazy.
Good, huh?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Who's their top rival, you might say? You seen any big games, High Point U?
Well, Coastal Carolina and them had a couple good games back in the
Right.
past. Campbell and High Point University
bring it in pretty good.
extremely good.
He played the other night, didn't he? Real close game?
Yeah. And Radford. I went to the Radford game way back in like 5th grade doing a Rowdy Ropers jump roping thing, and I still remember that game to this day.
So you guys performed at halftime?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Group of jump ropers, huh?
I don't even know why I was doing it, to be honest with you. It's not even my thing, but
It used to be, though, right?
it used to be.
Hey, Ben, you got a good, like you say, you like the history classes because you memorize things. You
Right.
probably don't forget hardly anything.
Yeah,
How many points you have last night?
it's not. Last night was an off night. I had like 8 or 9.
How about the game against Wheatmore?
I had 16.
16. How about last Friday against, who was that last Friday? Eastern Guilford.
I had 13.
So you got them all down pretty well then.
I tend to keep up with it, as good as I can.
Yeah.
But like I said, points don't matter. I just want to have a good season. Keep
What's the
winning.
biggest rebounding game you've had?
Last night I had 11.
Wow, that's not bad at all. That's kind of in the Daniel Kanaka Kanui classification there.
Yeah, that's his average. My career high is his average.
And when you get most of those around the basket, long rebounds?
Yeah, just the fluke rebounds that fall to me.
Do you get some of those long rebounds sometimes so as you get the ball, you put it right back up, take the shot?
Oh yeah, because it's hard to contest a shot right after a rebound.
It's the key thing about a player too sometimes. I guess the real good players, as soon as that ball comes off the rim, they grab the ball wherever it lands,
put it right
boom,
back up. Which the way I try to get my rebounds is off free throw misses. Because sometimes guys are slacking off or not doing the thing or whatever. So that's a good time. Get a couple, steal a
Ever
couple
get called
rebounds.
for jumping in the lane a little too soon?
No, Bob Lickey, like I said, he's taught me the system on how to get in there just in time.
Man.
Without,
We got to get Bob Lipke in here one night and talk to him.
Oh my gosh.
That's a good background.
Like I said, every basketball, anything that I've learned has been from Bob.
How old were you guys when you were playing for Coach Bob?
Picked me up at like 11 or 12, and he coached us all the way till last year.
Last year.
And then his son decided to, quit playing basketball.
He went more toward baseball.
Focus on because he's an amazing baseball player.
Yeah, that's what I hear. What's his first name?
Colin Lipke.
Colin Lipke. He's at Ragsdale.
Yeah, and he's doing his thing. He's an amazing baseball player. But
So keep an eye on him too then.
oh, without a doubt.
Colin Lipke. Second base or shortstop?
Second base.
Gotcha.
And then Bob, with his son not playing anymore, he decided to just give it up.
It's kind of interesting. Put in a lot of good years, I'm sure.
Oh, without a doubt. Bob, special guy.
Now, is he teaching anywhere now? Do you know? Not sure.
No, as far as I know, he's just in a,
So it's kind of hoping to go back and take that Oak Ridge job back again, trying to rebuild that program.
Yeah, if anyone could do it, it'd be Bob Lipke.
Yeah.
He's the best basketball
Because I
coach.
like the Oak Ridge program he had prior to the changeover. I like the changeover too because it was wide open. It was
Yeah.
like a maverick
Yeah.
program. They had everybody in the world in there, but then you don't want to see a program like that come in last 2 years and just completely fall apart.
Yeah, they just got decimated over the last 2 years. Now, no one hears about Oak Ridge basketball.
I saw one game they played this year against somebody that starts the season. I think I beat like maybe 82-19, and you don't even want to see that.
Yeah, but Bob Lipke, if anyone could do it, Bob could do it.
Ben, good to talk to you, man.
Great talking to you.
Watching for your numbers in the next several games. Also watching for the big number on the far right, or maybe the far left side, the win total.
Yes, sir. That's what matters.
Number, guys, what? 12-3 right now.
11-3.
11-3 now.
11-3.
Looking for 12-3 tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for.
Glenn on Friday and a big game against Ragsdale at your place next Friday.
And we got time to prepare because exam week. They won't let us play any games, Guilford County. So we got a whole week to prepare for
When you're doing
Ragsdale.
so good in those AP classes, all you got to do is